Have you noticed group of students on your college campus or in your neighborhood comparing vape flavors and devices like they are discussing the latest iPhone? They'll have sleek devices and exhale a cloud of fruity flavored smoke. This scene has become as common as seeing someone sipping a coffee. Vaping has transformed from a rich people's habits into a full-blown culture. Faster than you can say nicotine. It's not just about the nicotine hit anymore. It's about being part of a community. But how did we get here? Especially considering it's illegal. Yes, you heard that right. According to the Prohibition of Electronic Cigarettes Act 2019, it's illegal to produce, manufacture, import, export e-cigarettes in India. Still, you can buy it very easily, either at the store near some college or online. There are plenty of options. However, the supporters of vaping often compare it to smoking, saying it's the safer choice. And on the surface, this seems logical. Vaping doesn't burn anything, so there's no tar or harmful chemicals that are found in cigarettes. Plus, vaping smells a lot better. Imagine the sweet scent of cotton candy instead of a stinky smell of an ashtray. But wait a minute, before we start thinking of vaping as a hero, let's go back in time and understand how the smoking culture actually started. Believe it or not, there was a time when smoking was considered healthy. Back in the 1930s and 40s, cigarette ads were very different from what we see today. Take a look at this ad.
Enjoy a cigarette. And because they know what a pleasure it is to smoke a mild, good-tasting cigarette,
the tobacco companies in the US had doctors in their advertising campaigns. It was like they were trying to say, if the people who take care of your health are doing it, then it must be okay for you too. It's hard to imagine now, but back then, this kind of advertisement made a lot of people start smoking. Cigarette companies sponsored TV shows, plastered their logos on race cars, and even gave out free samples to soldiers during World War II. It was everywhere and everyone started smoking. But then in the 1950s and 60s, science started to catch up. Studies began linking smoking to lung cancer and other health problems. In 1964, the US Surgeon General released a report that definitely linked smoking to heart diseases. It was a huge setback for the tobacco industry. Suddenly, smoking wasn't cool anymore. Over the next few decades, we saw a massive shift. Smoking was banned in public places and cigarette ads were taken off TV. Fast forward to 2003 and we meet the modern e-cigarette's true inventor. Hornlake was a Chinese pharmacist who wanted to quit smoking after his own father passed away from lung cancer. Motivated by this, he invented the first modern e-cigarette. His invention hit the Chinese market in 2004 and started spreading to Europe and the United States by 2007. At first, e-cigarettes were mainly advertised as a way to help people stop smoking. The idea was simple: quit smoking without quitting nicotine. But then things started to change. E-cigarettes got better and cooler. They became more powerful and customizable, which made them even more attractive. By the late 2010, vaping had become super popular. It wasn't just a habit, it became a hobby, a lifestyle, a whole subculture. Suddenly, people who had never smoked a cigarette in their life started vaping. Then came companies like Juul. Launched in 2015, Juul quickly became the iPhone of the vaping world. Influencers started promoting vaping. Scroll through Instagram or YouTube and you will find countless videos of vape tricks that look like they belong in a magic show. Seeing these tricks made vaping seem really interesting. It's like a game. But with all this popularity, people started to worry. Health experts noticed that many kids and teenagers were getting into vaping, and this raised serious concern.
Vaping may have long-term impacts on a user's heart and lungs despite being marketed as an alternative to help you cut back on smoking.
Vaping can lead to memory issues as well as other mental and physical health problems.
Wait a minute, I think this has happened before. Yep, the story is repeating again. Now, scientists are looking into what are the long-term effects of vaping. Hopefully, within next 3-4 years, reports will be published and the smoking culture will become uncool again. And something new will be released by the tobacco industry to keep people addicted. But how does anything related to smoking come in trend so quickly and people adapt to it easily? Well, the big secret behind this is addiction. The vape devices heat up a liquid called e-juice or vape juice until it turns into aerosol, which you then inhale. Now, this e-juice is not just flavored water. It typically contains a mix of propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin flavorings, and often nicotine. It's like a cocktail, but instead of getting you drunk, it gives you a nicotine hit. And nicotine is the same thing that makes cigarettes addictive. When you inhale nicotine, it races to your brain faster than Usain Bolt. Once there, it binds to receptors that release a chemical which makes you feel good called dopamine. Dopamine is like your brain's reward system. It is the same chemical that makes you feel good when you eat chocolate, have sex, or scroll through cute dog videos on Instagram. Nicotine hijacks this system and gives you a little pleasure boost every time you vape. When you use a vape and get that nice good feeling, your brain starts to link that feeling with vaping. So every time you feel stressed or bored, you don't just want the nicotine. You would like to vape. It's a bit like Pavlov's dog experiment. Imagine you hear a bell and know it means you'll get a treat. So you start to drool every time you hear the bell. With vaping, you start to want it every time you need comfort or feel a bit down. This is why it's so hard to stop once you start, even if it might not be good for you. And remember those yummy flavors? They are not just there to make vaping taste nice. They allow for higher amounts of nicotine without making your throat hurt. So you can inhale more nicotine comfortably, which can make addiction happen even faster. Now, the $1 million question. Is vaping actually better than smoking? Everyone seems to be wondering about this, and the answer is a bit complicated. First, let's be clear. Breathing any stuff that isn't air is not good for your lungs. But when we compare vaping to smoking, we are talking which one is less harmful, not which one is safe. Your lungs are designed to breathe in fresh air, not smoke filled with chemicals. When you smoke or vape, you're putting things into your lungs that they're not used to. This can make your lungs irritated and swollen. Imagine if you accidentally got dust or smoke in your eyes. They would get red and watery, right? That's kind of what happens to your lungs when you smoke. You might start coughing more, and your body might make extra mucus, which is the slimy stuff that can make you feel congested. And cigarettes are like the final boss in a video game. They contain thousands of chemicals, many of which are known carcinogens. When you light up a cigarette, you're not just inhaling nicotine. You're breathing in a toxic soup of tar, carbon monoxide, and many other scary sounding chemicals. Vaping, on the other hand, is different from smoking in one big way. There's no burning, no fire, no smoke, and theoretically fewer harmful chemicals. The liquid used in vaping has fewer ingredients than a cigarette. So while vaping might seem safer than smoking, it's still not safe, especially because of the nicotine and other chemicals that could harm you. But hold on, you shouldn't jump to any conclusions just yet. Vaping is still pretty new, so we don't know all the long-term effects. Sure, it might seem less scary than something you already know, like the common cold, but do you really want to get sick from either one? When vaping first started becoming popular, the big tobacco companies wanted to capitalize on this. They quickly saw the potential and started buying up e-cigarette brands. Take Juul for example. This cool little device became super popular, especially among young people. And guess who owns a big part of Juul? Altria, the parent company which makes the cigarette Marlboro. So, are these companies trying to trick us? Many of the marketing tactics used by vape companies are very similar to those used by cigarette companies in the past. They use cool, rebellious images, claim to be safer alternative, and offer flavors that appeal to young people. It's like they have taken the old cigarette marketing playbook, updated it a bit, and called it Vaping 101. So, are we being manipulated? It's hard to say, but one thing is clear. Wherever there is smoke, there's usually a big tobacco company behind it, trying to keep their business going and getting people addicted. So, where does all this leave us? Is vaping the cool new trend that's changing the way people use nicotine, or is it just a sneaky trick, tempting a new generation to getting hooked on nicotine? The truth, as always, is somewhere in the middle. The vaping industry argues that their products are harm reduction tools, not gateways to addiction. But with fruity flavors, sleek devices, and aggressive marketing, it's hard not to see the appeal to young people who might never have considered smoking. If you are a smoker looking to quit, vaping might be a step into the right direction. But it's not a harmless hobby, and it's certainly not something non-smokers should pick up just for fun. To end the video, I would like to leave you with this video of Andrew Huberman.
Vaping is so addictive. It's a mutagen. It mutates the genes of cells. It mutates the genes of rapidly dividing cells most. So breast cancers, ovarian cancers, egg quality, sperm are constantly turning over. So, people always say, no, well, I vape all the time and I got so-and-so pregnant or whatever. When they'll say, I have a perfectly healthy kid, that kid might have been much healthier. And also the kid's not grown up yet. Like, introduce me to the kid later. I wish for that kid. I pray for them, but that they're healthy as can be. But it is so clear that you're introducing a laundry list of toxins to the lungs, and they're getting into the bloodstream, and there are a number of them that cross the blood-brain barrier. And once they cross the blood-brain barrier, those neurons, by virtue of the fact that neurons don't turn over across the lifespan, you're born with the ones you're going to die with. You might add a few across your lifespan, but you're mostly born with the ones that you're going to die with. Well, they're going to harbor those chemicals and those particulates. And yes, we have grandparents that smoked and lived to be 90, but those are generally the outliers.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insights into the latest trends and important issues. And if you have any questions or thoughts about vaping, drop them in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and help each other make smart choices. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay healthy. Catch you in the next video.